Remember Flash games? That incredible era in the 2000s where you went online and entered a world of 2D or almost 3D landscapes full of infinite possibilities? You could be a stick figure, an elephant, or even one of the Teen Titans. To a child growing up in the 2000s, these were the ultimate time killer, whether it was in the computer lab or the computer room. If you're over 20, chances are you played a Flash game. Today we're going to look at 5 forgotten Flash games from the 2000s that I guarantee you won't remember. And we're going to find out if they're still fun to play or if it's all just nostalgia. So let's roll back the clock all the way back to 2003. The first game on our list is an absolute icon. With more than 37 million confirmed downloads and hours of videos showing speedruns, exploits, and general gameplay, Stick RPG quickly cemented itself in the Flash game Hall of Fame for many players after it debuted in early January 2003. But how does it hold up to the test of time? I used the Flashpoint archive to find out, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to as well. Just be sure to get parents' permission before going online. Also, for some reason, despite tweaking the Flashpoint settings, I still had this weird graphical glitch, so I'm just going to cover that up. There we go. The goal is simple. You, the player, wake up in a two-dimensional world with minimal context or explanation and must live out your days in this universe, aiming to become president or dictator based on your moral bend. You have a ton of minor objectives and side quests along with this vague hint of a voicemail to direct you when you first wake up. You also have a limited time to do anything based on your preference of either 15, 40, or 100 days. There is also the option to do unlimited, but that's for amateurs. As you complete objectives, the game becomes almost self-explanatory. You go to work, you earn money, you use that money to pay for college, you unlock a better job by getting smarter, and so on. You could also go the other way and choose to gamble your hard-earned cash in the hopes of skating your way to the upper echelon of the Stickiverse. But when that doesn't work out, it's time to turn to drugs and get robbed 4 times in a row. So then you go back to being an honest stick in a cold stick world because it's all you know, and hey, you just got a promotion. Time to grind at school and keep going and going until... oh. I guess we didn't make it. This game is truly fascinating as it still holds its own appeal in a world dominated by games like Fortnite and Elden Ring. Maybe there's something to be said for old games. For example, classic RuneScape has more than 300,000 players online daily in 2024. That is mind-boggling. Games like Stick RPG define an era, but also speak volumes about talented and passionate teams. The fact that a simple 2D game with a literal stick figure character included can still be addicting more than 20 years later is incredible. Next Gen Studios was behind this legacy, and they deserve every bit of recognition for creating a 2000s era masterpiece. But what if I told you one guy did what they couldn't? The year 2008 was solemn for many, especially in the United States. A once-in-a-lifetime housing market crash was leaving families on the street, stocks at less than a third of their value, and people wondering where to turn next. A distraction was necessary to give people a break. Let me introduce you to John Cooney. This man single-handedly created and released a number of legendary Flash games that served as the perfect means to check out from an otherwise stressful time. One of his more successful creations at the height of the Flash game renaissance was Elephant Rave. It's remarkably simple and quintessentially millennial with its LOL so random XD vibe. You almost expect the elephant to have a snapback on with swag or YOLO embroidered on the front. But despite this bona fide pachyderm time capsule still carrying the torch for the Skrillex era, there's something about it that's just so alluring. Your main goal as the elephant is to dodge the top-down lasers? Lights? Snakes? I'm not sure what they are, but they are reminiscent of the snake game on your mom's Nokia phone. And man, is this game like crack for an 8-year-old in the 2000s. John Cooney was the first ever employee at Armor Games back in the day and brought them into households around the world with his incredible creativity and knack for coding. He then moved on to Congregate to do even more work and continue riding the wave of browser games until eventually starting his own firm in 2017. Technically, he was his own firm for many years, operating under the alias JMTB02, but either way, the man is a legend in the Flash game community. Elephant Rave was certainly novel and intriguing for the time, but it was technically the prequel to a much larger project John was working on, which we'll get to later. For now, let's talk about a 2-person team that designed one of the most chaotic third-person shooters to ever hit a web page. That's right, we're talking about Raze. How many of you actually remember this game? It feels like some sort of fever dream with the weird voice lines and goofy outfits for the characters, but it's still so fun. We were too broke to have Xbox Live, and I hadn't saved enough money for a proper PC yet, so I had to settle for this. But settle feels like an unfair term because look at the depth in this game. Developed in 2008 by Justin Goncalves and Addison Rodomista, Raze blew players away with its snappy mechanics, weapon arsenals, and the sheer volume of content. Just look at all these levels. not to mention the character customization. I tried reconnecting to the multiplayer servers, but for some reason they wouldn't load. But that's okay. This game comes with 2 campaigns to carry you through. You start off playing as a human, hellbent on defeating the alien scum in this platform arena-style environment, working your way through every painstaking altercation. After grinding your way through the onslaught, you eventually beat the game, save mankind, and then you get to be an alien. This time, it's different. Well, kinda. It's the same mechanics. You run, you jump, you shoot, but you look cooler. But not as cool as you look doing parkour while dodging lasers, buzzsaws, and swinging axes. Oh yeah, it's time to talk about Exit Path, the one Flash game with the best soundtrack ever made. This game is a wonderful callback to our Elephant Rave developer John Cooney, but this time, instead of dancing pachyderms, you get one blue guy running from certain death as fast as he can. With a startling array of obstacles and threats, this game quickly became my personal favorite of all time. The music, the pacing, the environment, the storytelling in the background, it's all so perfect. The startup sound of an orchestra warming up not only brings back memories, but also feels like a clever homage to John's coordinated development of Exit Path. Every level, no matter how daunting, can be beat. And with enough practice, the whole game can be beat in almost no time at all. But believe me when I tell you I need practice. This game is simple. You start off in what appears to be a prison cell, and the moment you try to leave what looks like a 1984-inspired factory, alarms go off and it's time to move. You get a temporary speed boost that charges based on how long you sustain movement, which is a creatively unique mechanic, but sometimes that boost isn't always a good thing. Each level has more obstacles than the last, and some bait you into a false sense of hope, making you think you beat the game. But the only way to win is to run. This game ends with a fun and deep quote from Voltaire that sparked my interest in philosophy at a young age. It makes me wonder what John's real motivations were behind Exit Path. I'm sure they weren't the same motivations behind his development of Achievement Unlocked, right? It seems John had a sadistic streak about him. Achievement Unlocked was a curious expansion on Elephant Rave and was released only 5 months later in 2008. Sure, it's not Halo Reach or MW2, but how many people can confidently make 2 finished games in a year alone? This game was both adorable and brutal, as sometimes you had to die to get any achievements. Actually, a lot more than sometimes. The achievements are listed on the right, so you know exactly what you need to do, but the challenge is doing it. I spent many hours in school wasting time grinding achievements. It makes me wonder if this was my first inspiration to build the mindset needed to play some games like Warframe or Dark Souls. Both offer challenges and require serious mental fortitude. Looking into the past is always interesting. You see things from a new perspective that you otherwise couldn't have because you're older and wiser. Old commercials, websites, as seen on TV products, they all serve as reminders that with time comes growth, and with growth comes new memories. But sometimes it's fun to sit and flip through the scrapbook of time and ponder simpler moments. If you liked what you saw today and you want to see more Flash games, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and consider becoming a member to support the channel. And while we're at it, here's some of the people that made this video possible.